Hello.
How are you guys?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing some new faces here and I'm very excited about this. And familiar and new faces. So anyone want to share any what you've experienced thus far, growth-wise, learnings? Anyone?
Today I joined one of the learning class for the command training and learned different ways to do the smart views and which I was not aware of. So that was good. And growth wise, yeah, I've been doing good this year and tried to, get better and have a better goals and plans for the next year.
Very cool. Okay, so a couple of you I know are just in listening mode, which is totally cool. Great thing about this is we're going to start this call with a mindset meditation, just to kind of get everybody cleaned, cleared, focused. And then we will talk about what we learned in pages 159 to 174. And yeah, so let's get started. So those of you who have been coaching with me, you know that I take you through a breathing exercise. I'm actually going to be turning my music on. And so we start, for those of you who have not, we start with a hog breath. So we take 2 counts in through our nose and 4 counts out through our mouth. So we go. Okay. And what that does is it gets you into a meditative state, relaxed. And so I want everyone to just feet on the ground, be relaxed. Do not do this if you're driving. Please do not shut your eyes if you're driving. Keep your eyes open on the road. But if you are not driving and you're in a place where you can sit down and do this with us, please do so. So I want you to start by just taking some breaths, breathing in through your nose and out. Good. Again, in. You're going to breathe out. Good. Again. Out. Good. Let's take about 8 more breaths in. Again. And as you continue breathing, I want you to just concentrate on the pause between the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just still breathing in through your nose. 1, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Now I want you to just, breathing normally, I want you to sit. And I want you to imagine the soles of your feet being connected to the earth, almost like a magnet is holding you to the earth with the bottom of your feet. And it's giving you this sense of being truly grounded and solid in your foundation. And what I want you to do is I want you to pull up the energy of the earth. Just imagine that you have roots in the earth and you're pulling up the energy through the soles of your feet to your calves, your thighs, and right above or below your sits bone. And you're stopping right there. Nice. I want you to just ask your unconscious mind now to send any unneeded energy, anything that you don't need, just send it down into the earth so that you're rested, calm, and you only have what you need. Nice. Now, as you all sit here, I want you to imagine a time in your life when you knew and you felt exactly what you were here to do. What made you happy? What were you doing that made you happy, made you feel fulfilled? Was it in health, spiritual, relationship, family, financial? When was there a time in your life when you felt completely fulfilled? And I want you to go back to that time now. And I want you to see what you see, hear what you heard, and feel the feelings of being completely fulfilled. Nice. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think of another time when you were congruent in what it is that you were here to do. What are you supposed to be doing? What fulfills you? When you think of everything that life has to offer and everything that you've accomplished, what's that one thing where you truly find happiness? Just asking your unconscious mind now. And I want you to go back to that time now, and I want you to see what you saw, hear what you heard, feel the feelings of being completely in your life's purpose. Good. Now I want you to float out of yourself. And I want to take you back on a journey, those of you who have been on this journey with me before, and I want you to float to a sidewalk, a path, whatever it may be. You're there now. And I want you to remove all the noise, the talk in your mind. I want you to take that noise, that talk, that chatter, and I want you to imagine that they're bubbles. And with each thought that leaves your mind, that bubble floats away. I want you to imagine that those thoughts are floating away like a bubble in the air, gone. They come out quickly because you've got many thoughts going on, and yet as you get rid of them, they slowly disappear to where you have maybe 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're now in a place that you recognize. It's that one place that you go when you look for the answers, when you sit to listen. Yeah, what a relief it is that now you're here listening without all that noise and chatter in your mind. It's gone. It's muted. And as you sit here with yourself, ask your unconscious mind, what is it that you're not doing that if you did, would show you your life's purpose, would remind you of why you're here. And if you know why you're here, ask your unconscious mind, what am I not doing that I need to be doing? Because see, our life, our unconscious mind only wants what we need positive in our life. It's here to serve us. So just take a couple of moments and listen. Nice. For those of you that are seeing lights, that's just energy. And it's teaching you how to quiet your mind. It's okay. Good. Now, so what I want you to do is I want you to thank your unconscious mind now for the clarity that you've received, the message that you have or will receive. And I want you to stand up and I want you to come back to now. And as you're coming back to now and you look up in the sky, you just see beautiful blue clouds and a rainbow. A rainbow, and you feel the fresh breeze blowing on your face, the warmth of the sun and the magical colors of the rainbow. And you're now floating back into your body, and you can feel that connection that you have with the earth where your feet are so firmly planted. And I want you to float back into now, and I want you looking through your eyes again. And now you see things in a different light, a different picture. As you're looking through your eyes and you're seeing what your life's purpose is and what it feels like, sounds like, and looks like, I want you to make that picture brighter. Make that picture brighter. You being who you are to be and doing what you want to do and having all that you want to have and feeling that life's purpose. What does that look like? Make it bright, make it dim, adjust it. Make it color, black and white, adjust it to color, vivid, panoramic, focused. And hearing, are the sounds near or are they far? Are they light or are they loud? Adjust it to where it's so lifelike. Nice. And now the sound that Tupperware makes, I want you to make that sound and lock it into place just like the sound that Tupperware makes. Good. Now I want you to take 2 deep hog breaths, breathing in through your nose. Good. One more. come back into the room only when you're ready and open your eyes. You guys smell popcorn? How was that? Good. Okay, cool. So definitely want to encourage you guys to, after we're done, and if you have time, to kind of sit with what it is that you heard and you saw and write it out so you don't forget. And for those of you who are saying, oh, I didn't quite get anything yet, you will tonight when you're sleeping. Or it may be if you meditate later. Okay. Cool. So who wants to share with some takeaways they got from the organizational model?
I'll go. One of the things that I always think about when thinking about hiring, the scariest part for me is always thinking about paying someone else's salary, right? Like they're dependent upon me. And when you look at it from more of a team perspective, if you will, like they're doing things that free up to allow you to do more, like they're helping you be better. That's such a easier way to look at it, right? As opposed to just like a dependent, right? Like as a child of just like, I have to take care of this person.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Anyone else?
I would like to go.
Okay.
So I've been thinking a lot, and I just, started getting to create like a team or have somebody hired. I had this issue where I didn't want to give away my work. I just wanted to do it everything myself. And that was causing me to pause and not focus on other things which I'm good at. So now I'm trying to let go and learn with these models that, you should assign somebody who is good at it and let them take the lead and, maybe train them to do better and the way you want them to do, or have them do their way and see how they are doing. Step back a little bit and watch. And that's how you can grow.
Nice. Thank you, Nyla. Anyone else?
I really liked the 10, what is that? The 10 empowerment
Both, yeah, from empowering people. Yep.
for new hire. I know when I was an admin, the 10 principles for empowering people.
Yes.
I know when I was an admin, it really bugged me that I would be given a responsibility or being given something to do, but I wasn't given the authority to get that done.
Nice. Thank you for that share. Anyone else? Cool. So I'll just do some, some like bullet points, and then as always, assign an action plan for you guys to implement. So here, when doing all you can do, you hire an administrative person to help you. So what do you think Gary means by this when you're doing all that you can do?
You're busy and you don't know what you've done, and most of what you're doing is your 80%, not your 20%.
Exactly. Sometimes we, one thing as rainmakers, we tend to think, oh, I can do it all. I don't want to give up the control. No one can do it better than me. And the reality is, maybe in the very beginning, yet when you get really super busy, the more that you hold on, the tighter you hold on, the actually the more mistakes get made and things fall through the crack. And there was Mike Mendoza here. As my business increased, I put people in place so I could do what I enjoyed. I was not afraid to add staff. I got more for the dollar. And I love it. The pros and cons. The pros are, as we know, the assistant allows agent to focus on lead generation by having the business knowledge, experience, and ability to do other tasks. Assistants have already made they've already made a decision to be in the real estate career. And an assistant understands the commission business and is already trained in the business. So a con would be it could cost more, and the assistant tends to bring his own clients and wants to work with them. It can get messy. So, well, most assistants, when we hire them as an EA, we don't let them really work in the real estate arena with a client. So, why do you think that Gary had this in here as a con? What's your opinion on that?
Might have had it there because, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You may have had it in there for the licensed assistants, not the unlicensed.
Yes, he does have it in there as the licensed assistants. Exactly, hiring a licensed assistant. But why do you think that that he wrote that in there specifically? What do you think could have happened for that to be in there?
His assistant started taking too much liberty, started doing more than.
Could be, and it also could be because they understand the commission and they see, what that is. So they, could potentially want to make commission off of a sell as well, which is where, when we're hiring, we want to have that clarity and making sure that they know exactly what their role is on the team. So, for those of you who have done career visioning, you're learning how to read the KPA. And some questions I get from clients, they ask me, well, but how do you know if they're telling you the truth? Because sometimes they just tell you what you want to hear. It's true. So what you do is you dig down and you ask them for an example. You ask them, so when was a time specifically that this would have happened or wouldn't have happened? Because if they say, no, I would never, I'm a team player. I've never not been a team player. Okay, cool. Share with me sometimes when you've been like the most amazing team player. And then you just dig in and they will slip up and tell you the truth sometimes, those that are not being honest. Had one client, I was helping her, and the new hire she was hiring, he, I was like, new baby, this and that. And the more I dug in, he wound up revealing that he actually really wanted to be a listing specialist and have his own team. He just wanted to learn from her. And all I did is I just kept digging in for her and digging and digging. So sometimes we got to dig a little deep to really find out what someone's motivation is, especially when you're hiring talent. If we just go surface, what are we going to get? We're going to get surface. Exactly. So when I saw that, I was like, he must have put that in there because there must have been some feedback that, yeah, I hired a licensed assistant, and they see the commission checks and they go, oh, I want a piece of that. So hire talent. Who all here believes that talent is a must? Do you believe that we're born with talent? Or do you believe that we can learn talent? What do you guys think? Share with me.
I think we could learn talent.
Who else?
Yes, we can learn talent.
Josh, I saw you raise your hand. Oh, you believe too, and Lori? Diane?
Am I
I don't think, I think talent is that people have inside them, like a drive, and that we have to like try and isolate that in the interview process. How driven are they? How resourceful are they? Um, those kinds of things. And then I think we have to teach them a lot of stuff. And I think that's where people fail their assistants. And yes, I said fail your assistant, not where assistants fail, because I think that like we fail if we don't teach them what we want and how we want it done. And that what you invest in them in the beginning is what you will get back in the end.
Yeah. It's kind of cool because what this reminded me of is if we go back to page 38, where Gary talks about natural ability and, how we can have natural ability, but it only take us so far. And then, we've got to learn, we've got to, it's not just about being naturally skilled, because we all have the skill sets, just like looking at a thoroughbred horse. You know that horse can run fast. Yet if you take that horse and you work its skill set and train it, think of what it can do. So when I read this, that's kind of what I think of. Cool. So yeah, and not only that, when you have someone that's truly talented, they're going to push you. They're going to push you. They're going to help you get the answers. They are going to continually raise the bar and say, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what are your goals? Like you shared with me, these are your goals. Are we on target? So when we look at hiring an EA, we want that person that's not scared to say, wake up, what are you doing? You're off task, get back on it. They're not there to be our friend, which is the mistake, which is made quite often. So what do you think the cost of a bad hire is? We're on page 163 now. Share with me, share with me some stories, or not stories, but share with me some experiences of those of you who have hired a bad hire, and what does that cost you?
I'll share. When I first came to Keller Williams about 1.5 years ago from another company, I did hire someone because I didn't understand all the systems, and she was really good at what she was doing. But I spent every day coming up with to-do lists for her to do and then checking that she did them, and I got totally off track. So even though she may have been a good hire, she wasn't a good hire for me. Yeah, it set me back a lot of time.
Anyone else? Thank you for sharing, Anne-Marie. Anyone else want to share a bad hire experience? Lori?
My hand was up from before, but
Okay, sorry. Anyone else?
I haven't hired anyone, but I can share. In one of the positions, I was an assistant, and I had originally applied for the position, and they were like, oh, no, we got all these other people who want to do it. And so they hired those other people, and within a few months, they were calling me because they needed somebody who could do the job. I mean, and that just translated into a whole lot of time lost and things having to be redone, and because they weren't done right the first time.
Yeah, exactly. All that time lost. So if you look at page 163, it shows you the cost of a bad hire and the opportunity for a great hire. So what I'd love for you guys to do is I want you to imagine that you had a bad hire. And I want you really to, how we do the visualization of what does it look like, sound like, and feel like. I want you really to imagine that you hired someone and you spent 3 to 4 months, then you also, hiring and then interviewing them, then you invested 3 to 4 months training them and discovered it's not working out. How would that make you feel? Then I want you to imagine that you know your values, you're completely congruent in who you are. When you're going to make that hire, you know exactly what type of person you need on your team. And you hire that person, and you hire that talented person that's the one that's going to push you, that's going to raise your ceiling, that's going to keep you focused on the goals. What will that outcome be? And the reason why I'm asking you guys to do that action plan is because it's really going to get you in tune with who it is you're looking for and what it is you need. And then I also want you to look at, by when are you going to hire that person? I know that there are some of us that some of you guys on here, we've got like a date already set, and some of you, we haven't yet. So I want you to think, by when are you going to hire this first person?
I have something to add. So if
Yes.
we hire somebody and if we have not hired anybody previously and we have no experience, it's always good to start hiring and then learn in that process within first 2 or 3 months, as Gary says, that you don't lose out so much over the period of time if you know, and then with that person, you have that experience build up, and then you know what mistakes were done, or what are your expectations, and so it will help you getting better in your next hiring process. So the faster you do, and start eliminating, better it becomes in the near future for you.
Yeah.
So I have something to share.
Yes.
I have a bad hire right now, and we're in about day 45. And I did on our day 30 share with her, because she is remote. So I kind of shared with her, I don't know that this is working for me because I really need somebody in-house. And I feel like I'm pulling the Band-Aid off slowly because of the time of year, and I'm not sure, but I already know I want to rehire, and I want to rehire my new person by January 15th. I mean, I need my January to kick off right. So I'm a little stuck. It is a bad time of the year to let somebody go. And she kind of guilt tripped me on that. So
So when we say it's a bad time to let someone go, is she moving your business forward or keeping you idle?
idle. And I just say it's a bad time because of the holidays
Okay.
for her pocketbook.
Understandable. Yet, are you protecting your business I totally understand. But if you were to look at this from a professional standpoint, wouldn't you be doing more of a favor for her, because people are hiring right now, more so around the holidays than they are after?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I probably just need to have the real.
If you're feeling frustrated, do you believe that she's also frustrated?
Yes. Yeah.
And feeling frustrated over the holidays does what?
Oh, that's a bad feeling for sure. Yeah. No contentment with that at all. Good point.
Sometimes it's really tough being a business owner.
Yeah.
You got to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yet sometimes when we think we're doing someone a favor, we're actually really not. Cool. So, and I love page 166. 10 principles for empowering people. Tell people what their responsibilities are and get agreement. Give them authority equal to their assigned responsibilities. Set standards of excellence and guidelines. Provide initial and ongoing training. Hold them accountable. provide them with weekly feedback on their performances, recognize them for their achievements, trust them, allow them to grow into self-leadership, give them permission to fail, and treat them with dignity and respect. One thing that we can do, especially whenever we know and we look at their KPA, it'll tell us how do our hires like to receive praise. There are some that, you know, they love to get that affirmation from you. You're doing a really great job. I just wanted to tell you. And then there are some, they don't really necessarily need it in that way. They see it whenever you give them more responsibility. So finding out, it's kind of like the love language, you know, how they talk about love language. Well, we all have a love language in every area of our life. So when you can figure out what theirs is, it's like watering a seed and watching it grow, right? Any questions around that? So,
Teresa,
yes.
it's what, do you ever give the KPA to your virtual, or do you just completely treat that as a different avenue?
For you mean for my cyberbacker hire? Yeah, no, they do their own type of KPA. So it's very similar to what we have at Keller Williams, except the question, the job interview, and they're in two different sections.
Yeah, I have that. I have their CPA. They call
Yeah,
it
it's the
CPA,
same.
like
It's the same.
cyberbacker. But I don't really remember it talking about their how they like to get feedback and how they like to get.
It's just when you've done it enough, you can figure it out, and it's just kind of getting to know what someone likes. You can ask them. You can ask them, how do you like to be communicated with? When you're doing something great, how can I, you know, commend you? How can I give you high fives? Like, how do you like to be rewarded? Ask. Absolutely. When you've been doing this enough, you just instinctively know, because after reading so many, I can just by reading people and their modalities, I know.
Sort of like a disc.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask, because sometimes I'm wrong. So Marie was asking, are there interview questions? Yes, there are. Actually, if you look at page 167, there are some basic questions on here. The KPA that you'll receive will actually give you more in depth about how, you know, in review of their results. And for those of you who I've helped, I'd be more than happy to help any of you guys when you're looking at the KPA and give you further questions to ask around it. But the simple ones, what's the goal? How did you do? How do you feel about that? And based on how you did, what is your goal and what do you need to do now? Is there anything that might keep you from doing that? Is there if you needed training or support to do this, what would this be? So I kind of like that he's like asking them what their goal is, because when you think about it, like if they're a team player and you're asking someone, so what's your ultimate goal? You know, when you're on the team, where do you see yourself in a year? That's a really great question. So cool. So you've shared with me your team player. You shared some great examples of when you've been a great team player. Where do you see yourself in a year? And this is where that one agent finally, divulged that, well, in a year, I'm just going to have learned a lot from working on this team. I said, okay, and we're in 2 years. Well, then I'm going to be my own agent doing listings. Oh. So asking them, what's your goal? What is it that you want as your rainmaker, and you're working with me? I want to help you achieve your goals. So what does that look like for you? Where's opportunity for growth for you in the skill set that you have? How can I support you in that? What do you do best? How does that make you feel, knowing that I'm going to ask you to push me? Are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you comfortable, or does that make you a little nervous? Is there anything that could keep you from that as an obstacle question? There's one thing that would get in your way from achieving your goal. What would that be? When you think of family, what comes to mind? For those of you who are like full-on family oriented. When you think of integrity, what does that look like for you? Think of your values, what's important to you, and ask them, how do they relate to that? How can I best support you? I ask you guys that all the time. How can I support you guys? Tell me what I can do. Cool. So just an overview of this. Models are the science of business, right? And what Gary means by that is, it's science. It's been studied, right? Build your house with a blueprint or risk ending up with a hobo shack. And that goes back to the, foundation and creativity, the triangle, where foundation is on the bottom, which are the models, and creativity is on the top. Once you guys can recite these models like forward and backward and it, then you add the creativity. But you can't start with creativity first and then the foundation or the models. Okay. Warren Buffett teaches us to master the proven models before we add creativity. Oh, I just said that. The economic model shows you where your money comes from, where it goes, and how much you left. You've got to focus on your numbers, which is why our 4 conversations, I'm really plugging it in with you guys. Next year is different. We are going to be hardcore about your numbers, filling it out. How many appointments and what is your conversion rate? The lead generation model shows you how to win the positioning battle for customer mind share. Budget model shows you what happens to your money from the time you receive it until the moment you keep it. Organizational model, it shows you how to add people. And the business D systems, that driven systems and tools to your leadership D, which is the drive, influence and accountability. It makes things happen even when you're not there. So again, doing the exercise, what would happen? And imagine that you made a bad hire. And Renee just shared with us. She shared with us. The gal made her feel bad. Knew exactly what to say to make her say, okay, it's the holidays. Totally get it. Does not make you a bad person at all. We're all human. We all have a heart. Yeah, business is business. And sometimes it's tough. You've got to make that decision. Yeah, when we do make that decision, we're actually doing the best thing for that person. Because all that's being created is frustration between the both of you. And it's not healthy for either one of you. And then I want you to sit and think about what your business could look like when you make that great hire. So writing that out, and what does talent look like to you? Okay. What does talent look like to you? And just really self-reflect, sit and reflect on everything that we've been doing from the beginning of our book club up until now. Looking at that overview, like really self-reflecting. Okay. We've got, the holidays are here. So I don't want anybody to still not be reading. We are going to, let's just do one. Are you guys up for one more book club before the new year? like next week. From 175 to 215, and then we'll wait until the new year when we come back to start the net a million section.
I'm up.
Okay. Jyoti would rather wait.
I would
New-
rather wait.
Okay. So then, for those of you, just read pages 175 to 215. We'll start the new year. That's a nice section. And Arian will send out the date and time. I am wishing all of you guys a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Yeah, Lori's got family in all week. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. You know, blessings, love, light. And, you know, we say Malamapono, which is we walk in God's light. And, you know, a hui ho, we'll see each other again because there's no goodbye. We'll always see each other. So a hui ho. And I malama you, which just means I honor you all. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.